This is London. We are so happy to have you back, guys. We have a cool dog on the screen. Everybody just tune in. We're about to set some new all-time highs, it looks like, on the price action of Dogecoin. So I hope you guys had a great Monday. I know it's kind of, the time to start the week. We have to brush off the cobwebs and yeah, just get busy. That's what we're into here. So this is the coolest dog, the coolest dog in town. As you look at the price action today, guys, we're still kind of in the weekend mode because things have been going well. Let's turn the music down just a touch. We'll turn this down just a touch. Let's see, there we go. See if 3 works. Okay, now, the reason the dog is so cool is just chilling and smoking and having his cigar. Shout out to Sir Charles who said this to us. Guys, it's just been a phenomenal day in terms of pricing for Dogecoin. You guys know that. Congratulations to the entire, to all the viewers here, to all of you. You guys have just have killed it, guys. You killed it. As we look at the entry price, again, that was our entry price, and we had to come live because, guys, you're up 113% since our entry price. Okay, this was amidst the calamity while things were falling apart. You guys understand, and again, on this channel we focus on retracements. We focus on things like when is the proper entry price. I'm about to show you in a minute how the Fibonacci works so beautifully well with the current price action. You're gonna love it, guys. It's not anything unlike what you're seeing on the macro here. If we do kind of if we zoom out, take a look here. Let's take a look at the price action. You know, essentially we experienced the golden pocket, guys. We hit that golden pocket, which was, I've explained it, it's a key ratio. That is the golden ratio in terms of 61.8 to 65%. Okay, now what we do on Fibonacci is we take the tool, and we'll go through some more essentials here, but in terms of how exactly this is done, which tool you select on TradingView. We are on TradingView. It's an advanced premium edition of TradingView. So it's the exchange software. You guys can use the same exchange software. As we're looking at this, we draw it from the base, okay, essentially the base of the price action up to the top. We want the top of this red, essentially this red structure, or whatever, this colored structure, if you guys aren't familiar with it. This colored structure, these are the Fibonacci calculations, okay? To the left here, you'll see the actual numbers being calculated. All they represent is percentages of retracement, okay? So on the macro, or on the entirety of the pricing move, which started in and around the 9th of April, okay? And we experienced over 400% gain overall. But in the midst of that, it retraced heavily, guys. That was the issue. There were heavy retracements around, I'd say 20 to 30% and around 50%. So these were huge opportunities to realize a gain in and around the specific pricing targets, which say the specified pricing targets, which again match up very, very well with exactly, guys, with exactly the Fibonacci's that we had drawn. Now, please be careful if you're drawing your own Fibonacci's. I'd say be careful because it is possible to kind of mess them up or to take a different road if you're trying to, what do you call that in golf when you kind of, not shank one, but yeah, I don't know, slice it. You know, you can slice it real easily, however you slice it and dice it. I always talk about, let me get the scalpel out here. Now, what I do, like for instance, if you're looking at drawing it on the candles, it's going to be different than if you guys are drawing it. Let me turn this down. It's going to be different than if you guys are drawing it on the actual lines. I always draw it on the lines, okay? So I'm just kind of setting up the price action in terms of where our let's say our specific, let me move these over. This is just a little chaotic here. Where our specific target came in and around this area. If you start to look at it, I'll just zoom in for a moment. We'll clear this up so you guys can take a good look at it. It's just a good time to talk about Doge, guys. You know that. It's been pumping all day long. The guys, the entire community here has been very happy, particularly with our pricing target that we hit. You guys have hit a 2x. You doubled your money, guys, since this pricing target. You hit 70% here. I personally got in for another 70% here. I know people got in for another lock here, unless they were already holding. I'd say these were actual trades, like effectuated trades. Bam. Just to capitalize on the retracements. Okay, we want to sell high, we want to buy low. We want to sell high, we want to buy low. Why? Because essentially we prefer not to just stay stagnant in kind of a consolidation for a period of weeks. We want to work our trades. We want to work our positions in our portfolio. That's the strategy that we use. So it's one of the top strategies used by the top guys that I can find. Essentially, it's the heavyweight. We call it heavyweight because more cash on the bottom, and it's a double or triple down as you go down into the different tiers. So there are plenty of videos on that. We have published one, and I think you guys will like that quite a bit. Our big deal is we had a 1 right here recently. We have a 1 up here. We have a 2 up here. We wanted to see it get to 1. I'm sorry. See it get to 1 and then see it get up into level 2. So level 2 is going to be a completely new paradigm, guys. It's going to be a completely different state of affairs. Now, this in here was the golden pocket, guys. We hit that perfectly. I brought up the candles for you to see a little bit differently, kind of how things can adjust. So let's go back to the lines. I always draw them on the lines. It's just easier. That's kind of more of a consolidated view. And as we look at the pricing action, you'll just see it's been a while that we have been not stuck, but we've been consolidating, and that's not a bad thing. It's a normal part of the price action. It's been 2 weeks that we've been going sideways if individuals were waiting in and around this zone. Now, we were live during this zone. I said the coach has blown the whistle, okay? Blew the whistle, and what happened? After the coach blew the whistle, it was just based on, guys, it was just based on mathematics, okay? It was just based on the program functions and some derivative analysis we did. I have a background in finance, financial analyst, etc. So, look at this. It decided to go down about 50% after that. A lot of you may be wondering right now, because it's a good question to ask, if it previously was at this level, does it stand a chance of going down 50% again? Okay, that can create some a lot of tension, some anxiety. So I will address that issue tonight. We'll go through some of those details because it's already been at this level and it's gone down 50%. You guys don't want, I know you don't want that to occur to your accounts. That's it could be traumatic. So let's take a look at that. And really, if we look on the candles, let's get a better picture of what it has done previously. Now, I don't think we have to worry about this. This is the good news. I don't think we have to worry about this. Okay, I'm looking at good, solid pricing structure being built in much differently than the way it was built in before. So this should give us a new trajectory, along the way up here. So let's get into that in a moment. But let's talk about, guys. It wasn't just 50%. There was a retracement of, let's look here, 62%. So there was a 62% retracement. That's a large retracement, and I just want you to understand that's a lot for individuals to deal with when they see 62% of their account disappear, 62 to 65%. So that's having $100,000 it turning into $35,000. That's a big deal, guys. So when you look at that, there's a reason why we're saying in and around this level, we want to go ahead and we want to get off the football field. Now, it's not financial advice. You guys make your own decisions always, but I think that was a really good call because we didn't sit there and watch our portfolio diminish in value 65%. So as we consider how to kind of give you information, how we can provide information for you guys, we do have and I believe it's up, we have up in here we have some VIP club, guys. I wanted to push that. We're going to do some graphics and do some different things, but that VIP club is there for you guys. We do have some great new members: Lars, Kent, Matt, Jellica, and Bent Frog. What is up, guys? We're going to be doing some great things with the VIP club. It's going to be very exciting. We also have some alpha traders. Kenny, Kent, and Bianca are doing great. In addition, Al and Chris are running close behind. So we have a lot of involvement from a lot of different people right now. We're very excited. In terms of the moderators, we got Red Raider Oz, Kurt, and Mr. V Crypto. Hello. Also Infidel, what's going on? We also have Base. Thanks for the tech input, Infidel. Very much appreciate that. Also Basecamp, we've got some new guys in Basecamp, guys. We got Nicholas, Desert Stuff, Scott, Jeff, and Benny and Andreas. So everyone kind of welcome. We have a little bit of a new social structure that's kind of being put together. We've been relying on some different formats, whether it be a Twitter, whether it be different stuff. There's the cool dog smoking. He looks pretty relaxed to me, I'll say that. I think we need to put a VIP shirt on him. I think I would like to see that. We will probably work on that, put a VIP picture on him so that we know who is maybe who's the main dog in the room, so in the VIP lounge. But no, seriously, it's an opportunity for us to treat you guys as well as we can, and however we can accommodate you. You're the reason why we're here. So that's the bottom line. And I've been in a lot of different clubs, this and that, over the years, and had some success. And a lot of you have had some great success. So yeah, we look at it as an opportunity to just kind of to do what we should be doing, which is kind of to cater to you. It's in my heart to do that, so I'm excited to be able to do that. And if we can do that through teaching you guys, we'll definitely do it through teaching, and whatever else we can bring you. Brand new, great ideas, obviously investment ideas, obviously exit targets, right? Exit targets, like live exit targets. You betcha, so you don't have to see your portfolio diminish by 50%. No thank you, guys. 50 to, was it 65%? No thank you. I'm hitting this target. This was the exit, right? This was the entry. Yeah, I'd like to give you the exit, and I'd like to give you the entry. And since that entry, yeah, I'd like to see you make like 2 times your money. So if we can give you the, essentially the entry, we can make 70%, and we can do the exit, and we can give you the entry, and you can make 2 times your money. Guys, if it's all mathematical like it is, if we could just base it on the Fibonacci's, beautiful. That's just beautiful. Now, the overall market you'll see to the right is red. Look at this. Everything is red. All right. Every single thing has gone red. Now, as we look at Dogecoin, Doge is setting the mark. I said that this morning. It just looks, nothing can stop Doge. I was very matter of fact about that this morning, and I got off. We did see it set new highs, and it got caught up around the 45 cent mark. So as we look at Doge, I want to dig a little deeper though, and I want to show you how what's going on right now has been very positive, guys. Very, very positive. So we're in this top level, and what I want to, as we zoom in, let's get the what do we call it, kind of the microscope or the magnifying glass out. There we go. Let's get the magnifying glass out. Now, if we draw on this, you guys saw in the macro, okay? You see in the macro, you see this, the overall, essentially the overall, let's call it the overall Fibonacci that we were able to construct. You saw the pricing dynamic in and around to the top. These all represent, they're just different levels or percentages essentially of retracement. Negative price action on the way down. This is the golden pocket. It's just a specified percentage, guys, that it typically likes to recoil to. If you want to say that's the spring action, and this is the recoil, okay? Before it takes off again. Now we can say that with Dogecoin because it did recoil here and it has thrust back to the upside. So that's a great way for us to look at this. It needs that recoil, guys, and it's going to recoil to a specific time period or specific, let's say within the time period usually, and a specific dollar amount, and then bam, it's going to release again to the upside. So that's what we're looking at, kind of this recoil and this thrust again to the upside. So within the overall paradigm, this larger, kind of the larger macro, okay, we're going to be looking at now we got Shannon. Hey, welcome to Base Camp. By the way, welcome to Base Camp, Shannon. We called it that because we are going up, all right? We're going to Everest, right? That's Nepal, the base camp. Yeah, you guys understand. We formed that a while back, and I'm gonna say we did it in kind of honor of Dogecoin. All right, it's like we need to kind of operationalize this thing. It was in around here. It's like we're gonna call this thing Base Camp. All right, we want people in Base Camp VIP. We want to go ahead and structure this because we know we're going up. So we had hit the target down here, and yeah, it was just good times, guys. Good times. We shared that target with our guys too. So you guys know that. Congrats to the ones that were involved with us heavy then. So as we look at things from the macro that we look, this spring coil, kind of this coil that needs to thrust to the upside, right? We need to hit that golden pocket that operates as a coil, and wham, we're out of there like a spring that's recoiled, and wham, we're up. Okay, we continue on the upside. Within each of these smaller frequencies, these pricing frequencies, guys, I'm going to show you on the top level, that Fibonacci, okay, it can be applied to these smaller levels, okay? And if we, I go to the candles sometimes to show you exactly the points wherein we were able to essentially effectuate, say, a lower target within this coil action. Again, this is a positive price action. Okay, this is just the same thing we drew on the aggregate or on the bigger picture. Okay, when we had the entirety of the price action over the previous few weeks here. Now we've drawn that just on what's gone on essentially today. I'll just say in and around since this morning we've drawn that, and this is the positive price action. We always start it here at the start of the trend, okay? And I normally don't draw them on candles. I'll go to the candles to get a better look in terms of the overall dynamics of the price action, but I draw the Fibonacci's on the line chart. Then I sometimes will go to the candles to further understand the price action. Okay, I'd like to see, did the candles get down? Did the market maker come down and pick up at this 78.6%, this 39 cents? Did he come down and pick it up? Looks like he almost did. All right, so I'd be surprised if a few didn't get picked up. Very close to there. They may have set, some orders just a touch off. And I'll explain kind of the price action. I think you guys will like to hear the explanation of the price action as we get a little more detailed. Again, we want to know what's going to happen and does this Fibonacci work in terms of reaccumulation, because some of you, when the rocket hit, or when the horse has left the stable, when it's out of the shooting gate at the on the track here, and it's just flying up. It's one of the most tempting things you can do as kind of a newbie investor, is watch it just go up and say, well, I have to buy it now. It's going up. It's going to keep going up. Not the best strategy, guys. What goes up must come down to an extent. It will give you, most times it'll give you some sort of an opportunity to get in if you're able to say, all right, it's at this level, I'd like to buy it down here. And it seems impossible while you're watching. It's like, it's just going to keep going up, right? When you watch it, it's just going to keep going up. But if you look at this, you experienced, and this hits the golden pocket, which is nice. If you look at the candles, it went down at least 61%, okay, on the line chart. Essentially, you're at that 61%. Okay, that's the golden pocket, guys. The 61.8 to the 65% is that golden pocket. So while we were watching this morning and everyone's just deciding we have to get in right now, the smart move is to say, you know what? I bet we can get in at a cheaper price. I bet you that we're going to be able to hit this thing on a retracement. That's the whole idea of the Fibonacci retracements. That's why they call them retracements, because after that spring has been loaded up and goes to the upside, essentially that positive price action, then it will recoil here. And when it recoils enough, it likes to spring back up. Now, it will go through this, and essentially, guys, we have to kind of judge it based on the preceding intervals. So this interval tells us that, yes, it retraced here. So when you see something leave the building, if you can just have a little bit of patience and understand, it's still good to talk about in terms of what kind of pricing dynamic can be built over a period of days. In addition, I will say this, we hit the 45 mark really kind of heavily hard. It felt like it was a heavy hit. You had to draw out the Fibonacci's to understand kind of what was going on. And if you don't have if you do not have the Fibonacci set up, I'm just going to tell you, it becomes difficult. It becomes very difficult to understand why something's falling. It can almost be kind of frightening. If you guys are looking at something, oh my gosh, it's falling. I don't want you to think that way. I want you to look at the positive price action. I want you to see now it's begun retracing. I would not be surprised at all, guys, not at all, if it hit 45, someone came in with some big orders here and decided, you know what, place some orders in and around 40. That's where we're heading to. That kind of coincides with where we hit in and around the golden pocket, guys. Someone may have just thrust in a lot of orders here, and people may have taken profits in around 45. Kind of seeing that as a natural barrier, and kind of a natural line of resistance given the previous. And this is where we need to get. Let me talk about this. This is a good thing for us to discuss. This line of resistance is kind of an invisible line of resistance, right? In and around that 45, where we kind of capped out today, and it looks like we're trying to rebuild and hit the trajectory over. Let me tell you this. This looks like an invisible line of resistance. This is why you guys need to be careful if you're using the line chart or the candlesticks, and just make sure you know the pricing action. Please make sure you know the pricing action, because on the line chart, there's an invisible line of essentially nothing, guys. There's nothing here to the left, right? If we go to, and if my memory serves me correctly, if we go to the candles, you can see the wick of the candle is clearly up in that area. So as we look at this invisible line, all right, the invisible threshold that was met, it's right on there, guys. So it hit that pretty hard. There was a retracement afterwards, but I want you guys to know that when you're dealing with the lines versus if you're dealing with the candlesticks, guys, it makes a huge difference. So if we go back to the line, and I'm going to zoom in on this. I want you guys to get a good look at this, because this is a big point. And they're just, it's not, you have to get detailed with it. Let's just say that you have to get somewhat detailed with it, because this is some analytics here. We're really getting into the fine tuning of previous levels of resistance where something capped off and went back to the downside, heavily to the downside. Here it seems like we're maintaining relatively well, and I would say that's because we have really walked up this staircase very well. In the past price action, that was, let's see if we can get over there. This was a pricing event that literally just skyrocketed. If you guys if you would remember that specific time period, particularly this time period, guys, this was one candle. This was literally just absolute trajectory, huge velocity on this. Velocity just means the amount of, essentially the amount of vertical price action that you're going to achieve within a very short time period. If you achieve a lot of price action within a very short time period, I mean, essentially you're not spending much time and going really high. That gives you a high velocity. So that's a high velocity event there. That's one candle. This is a little bit better in here. A few different candles. You didn't see quite as much of a severe fall off. If you look at that, that's a severe fall off, guys. Let's look at let's compare that to today, so we can kind of get a different look at the dynamics. See, look at this, guys. Nothing severe like that. No huge, outrageous candle. This is building, guys. This is something that we can look at and say, this looks a little bit more interesting. You see how differently this is composed here. I mean, this is just some nice, steady, gradual price action. This got a little bit aggressive up in here. Nothing too crazy though. So we've built this. We've built the price action much more steadily. It looks like some nice accumulation has gone on. This was decent price action up and through here. It got more aggressive up in here. That frustrated it. This again here, guys, in around the 16th of April. Listen, guys, this was severe price action, and particularly through this, there was nothing to stop it. It was just everybody in the market, in the crypto market, was after Dogecoin. It was just literally everybody was pouring their cash into it. So that's what that looks like when that occurs. And just compare now. This has been kind of nice and smooth. These are I'm not going to say problematic. They're a lot of fun to get involved in. They're predictable. I mean, I was a part of this. Okay, it was nice. This one also. This was nice. We were live for that. So those have been interesting, guys. A lot of money has been made on Dogecoin. So we appreciate all of you here at the community just tuning in, continuing to tune in. It's an exciting thing to trade. So looking at this, let's see. We've hit the golden pocket. We're at a better trajectory. I have some lines up here, and people are kind of wondering, what are these lines? What have you drawn? I moved some of these lines up. I'll just tell you that I moved some of the lines up. They're just some different kind of levels of qualifying that I'd like to see us get into. Just some generalized different ranges. I can draw the Fibonacci extensions. I can go ahead and do that. The extensions are on the upside, okay? The retracements are on the downside, so you guys understand some technical analysis. We focus heavily on technical analysis. Essentially, that is the application, okay, of I'd say the history of the price to the current situation, and to try and project what will occur. That's the notion of technical analysis, getting information from the history of the behavior of the price or the stock or the asset, etc. We're trying to get that history, and we're trying to apply it to the current situation to see what exactly can happen. So we do kind of a differential analysis sometimes. That means, how can we see how are things different from the slope and the velocity to the retracement, how aggressive the retracements are, to kind of how things are built. We do differentials on all of that, and I try not to make it too complicated. That's the best I can do, to try and not make it complicated. So we can get complicated, but we typically keep it relatively simple around here. So I will. These are kind of highways. I'll just say they're kind of the highways up above that I'd like to see it get into, and I've mentioned that over the previous weeks that I'd like to see it kind of get up into this area, particularly the last few days. Just I'd like to see it move in and around to match up with its previous high. We did that today. Now the key is going to be, and guys, we have Elon going to Saturday Night Live. The key is going to be, I think that could be potentially huge for crypto. Everyone who knows Elon knows he's involved in Bitcoin. He's involved in the altcoins, and particularly in Dogecoin. I see that as being a big event. There's a lot of adoption going on. We saw the Major League Baseball. I think Oakland, California, now has literally, gone ahead and said yes. They're selling seats. I think they're selling seats in Dogecoin. Yeah. So this guy, he's going to pop up and get a foul ball or something. We just want to bring him up because he's cool, guys. We saw him. He's really cool, and you guys have on your screen kind of join the VIP. So we're going to try and put him a VIP shirt on. That's just a place for you guys to get some exclusive information, some specialized pricing targets, and some different things from the crypto kingdom. We're just excited to be able to kind of serve you there. Not going to change any of the other stuff. Alpha traders are still alpha traders. VIP club is going to be VIP club. A lot of the guys in the alpha traders are like, yeah, we want to be in the VIP club. We're going to get. I don't know if I told you guys the girl who did the Houston Open. Not the Houston Open, the U.S. Open, I'm sorry. The U.S. Open, the kind of the worldwide tennis event that's brought here to the United States. She is going to be designing our VIP cards. So we are really excited about that. You guys, well, what does the VIP club do? Well, we're going to get special information. It's going to be exclusive, and we're going to get VIP cards made by the girl who did the logo work for the U.S. Open. So like Federer, Nadal, and all those like tennis stars. I'm not a huge tennis fan, but it's pretty cool. So we'll be doing that. That's in the works as we speak. I wanted to give you guys an update. That is in the works. All right, so that's happening. So reached out today to one of my friends so he could get in contact with her. She's a great girl. She's very talented and has done work for the kingdom before. If you guys are looking at Twitter, you guys already know our tagline is the kingdom. Go ahead and just type in THEKINGDOM, the kingdom, all right? You can click down and put go to the kingdom, all right? So, yeah, just wanted to let you know about that VIP situation. And we're going to do some different graphics. We're kind of upgrading some materials. I mean, it's kind of time. We've kept it real simple, but we're going to go ahead and do that. And I think you guys are, I mean, everyone's worth it. It's just how complicated do we want to get? And I think it's worth it. It's going to be fun. The channel's doing well. We have over 5,000 subscribers. A lot of smart people. It's not the average person. You guys are intelligent. You want to get into the technicals. You want to understand the Fibonacci's, retracements, extensions. You're getting into like, I got a question the other day about black shoals. I'm like, black shoals. We're really going to talk about black shoals. Like, that's fine. We can get into it. I've got a heavy financial past in terms of like lead analyst on a $1 billion equity fund right out of college, out of Duke. Since then I got into things like, advising the president, doing some different stuff like that more recently. And that's been fun. It's been a nice change than just numbers. But crypto has been a nice space for me to get kind of uninvolved from all things political and to just kind of take a step back, relax, and to kind of connect with a lot of you. So that's been exciting. So the key focus here is going to be, now on the line chart, why this is a big deal. Let's get back to the line chart. We were talking about the candles, right? The candles showed this invisible layer, right? This invisible kind of layer that we hit here. The candles, as we look back in the price action, are going to show that invisible layer right in here. That was the peak that we met today, okay? And this is important. I'm going to talk about some different issues here in a second, in a moment. But as we look at that, look to the left here, previous high of 45. We didn't quite reach that on that second peak. And that was the trajectory. That was about the 70% trade that we put through on the target. This here was today and around same spot, guys, same exact spot. So that kind of the miraculous 45 cents. It just wants to kind of it wants to use that for some reason. It wants to calculatively use that. We can go into the extensions and some calculations and get to those calculations if you'd like to. We can do that in a little bit. So, but looking at this, what we would like to see, guys, it doesn't have to happen immediately. And I want you guys to be patient with things. It doesn't have to happen immediately. It's almost better looking at the price action. Appreciate what's on your screen right now. Look at what a beautiful kind of little, I'd say a lot of lateral price action. Just a smooth step on the way up that we have achieved. This has been just like a step one. This is like step two. This here is like step three. It's fine, guys. It is fine. Maybe even preferred if it wants to do step four. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth, because when we get these aggressive moves to the upside, guys, you will see these aggressive moves, and it doesn't have much choice but then to fall back relatively hard. So when you get these huge velocity events, guys, this candle, I mean, this is an incredible candle. That's really something to look at. That's an hourly candle, guys. That's really something, guys. And an hour, guys. Let's look back at this. Let's measure this on this first trajectory up, just so you see how much things have stabilized and how positive the price action is. I mean, just how encouraging it is right now. And not that this isn't a great event, but guys, in 1 hour, you went up 50%. 50% on your money in 1 hour previously, okay? That was on the, what was that? On the 16th of April. You went up 50% of 1 hour, all right? That's difficult to maintain. That's literally, I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean phenomenal like it's great. It's also very rare that you're gonna make 50% in one hour. So yeah, in an hour. So as we look at right now, could this thing take off? Sure it could. Would it be good for it to take off 50% in 1 hour? It can, But if we're trying to build some stability into, say, a dollar or a different time, or say a different dollar amount, a different price, kind of a target. Let's say a price objective. That's the word I'm looking for. If we're trying to build stability into a price objective, I would prefer to see it kind of done slowly and methodically the way it's being done. It's still an aggressive move compared to the rest of the market. It's still something that we can absolutely look at and say, this is really phenomenal. This is really going well. And look at your screen, because right now we're down, what is it, about 1.44%. Guys, we're still really strong compared to the field. There's a few others that are performing about that well, but on the whole, on the whole, I got to tell you, we're looking really strong. Others are down. Ether's about off that much, but some are down, I'd say 4%, some are down 3%, a little bit more, 8%. So yeah, 4%. There's a lot of red on the board. So as that occurs, we're just down 1%, 2%. This is very easily, understandable in terms of the necessity for a retracement, first of all, and also just building in some nice price action. If it wants to go laterally for a minute, no problem. If you guys are involved at this level, I think you're doing okay. If you were involved here, or particularly at the original pricing target that we had, and I can share that with you where that was posted to, etc., who all got involved in this. Let's see what we got here. Might have messed up, sold 17,567. Well, what's up, Space Ranger? I don't think you messed up at all. Let's talk about things, brother. Might have messed up, sold 17,567 Doge. 50% of my holdings at 44,617.4. I was seeing a solid retracement. Looks like I sold too early. Oops. I don't think you sold too early at all. Let's look back at where you're at, and let's look at what you did. I want to look at this. It takes discipline to sell and take profits. I would just say that, Space Ranger. You are always, this does happen to people. You're always going to be able to, second guess anytime you take profits. Now look, you sold 50%. That's impressive. Nah, I'm going to say you probably did a real good job. You sold 50% of your holdings. And that's a decent position. I'm going to give you credit. I understand where you're coming from, but let's talk about it, because this is the problem, guys. The one thing that we're very solid on is the downside. We can talk about the extensions. When I say on the downside is your pricing targets. When you get into taking profits, I never tell anyone not to take profits. That's just a rule of mine. No one's ever gone broke, essentially, taking profits. Particularly as we were in, Space Ranger, we're just talking about these moves where an hour people were making 50%. The next hour, it's like the next hour, what happened? Well, within that next hour, what did they lose? The value of their account went down. So this is built into kind of the down 30%. Within those next few hours, down 30, down to the next day, probably down 50, easily down close 44%. So we have experienced that. We have literally seen that happen. We have people that's occurred to. So I don't think you can be too careful necessarily. I think it's kind of an exercise of discipline, if I can speak correctly. 63%. Space Ranger, 63% drop in 3 days and 20 hours. So that's a protective function that kicks in anytime you're in the money. That's natural, and I think it's okay that you're doing that. People want to double the price. I'll tell you, you just accomplished a solid gain on a trade, and what you know is that as we do the math, if you can make 20% on a trade and then make 20% on another trade, if you can do that, if essentially every time you do a 20%, if you can do 4 trades at 20%, you're going to double your money. So it's nice to double our money, from an original entry price right here. And I appreciate you letting the group know, because we need to know stuff like that. That's very important, because we also know you made money. Okay, so that's very exciting. We'll look at the exact point that you did, that Space Ranger exited on, but we'll also go through kind of what is going on here. What's the overall kind of circumstance he finds himself in versus you. So we do know Space Ranger has ridden the ride up, and he sold at 44. I'm not mad at you at all, brother. I think it's great. You took some profits. You're just evidence that you're involved somewhat heavily. We appreciate that, and that you made some money. So you didn't max out the trade. That's fine. You also didn't expose yourself to an undue degree of risk. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 44. But if you had maxed out the entirety of this, about 11 days now we're working on. Yeah, is it going to be 167%? Now that's on the extreme. From our pricing target up, pricing target in around, it was 1948. That was amidst the fall off. You know, it looks like the trade has accomplished at least a 2x. In the midst thereof, though, people have been guarding their position. That's just natural. They have been being wise about things. And if you look at trying to make 20%, if you can just calculate it and just bang up 20% after 20%, you have to understand, do that 4 times. If you do that 4 times, you're doubling your money. And from the point right now, get it through your minds, you know, and I have to keep it in my mind, is that if we're trying to double from this position right here, we're almost at $1, guys. We're at 44 cents, so we're almost at the dollar. You know, that's going to be what? That's going to be 88 cents. It's pretty close to the dollar that we ultimately want to achieve. And in the midst, we've been, you know, banging out some incredible trades. So that's very exciting for us to see that. Let's look at where Space Ranger got out. He sold at 44. Now, he's going to tell us that he messed up. This is the joke of the night, huh, Space Ranger, huh? You're pretty quick, huh? Okay, what did he say? He sold 17,567 Doge, 50% of his holdings at 44.6174. I was seeing a solid retracement. Looks like I sold too early. Oops. No. Nah, he's trying to get one over on us, guys. Because what did he do? He sold at the top. That's beautiful, brother. I think that's beautiful. What did you do? Now, the trick is you have to sell it, and when you see the retracement, this is the strategy, Space Ranger and crew. I want you to know that's exactly what you do. Now, that's a hand well played. That's this crew, okay? You need to be in the VIP club, brother. You got some skills, all right? Listen to this. Because you're selling right at the peak. Bam, you're out. Space Ranger is out. And then what? The trick is, Space Ranger, you have to draw your fib real quickly. You've got to get, and I try and push this information out. There's just so much information to push out and handle the videos, etc. But yeah, Space Ranger's saying, I think I messed up. I sold right here. Yeah, right, man. You did a great job selling right there. You just have to crank in real quickly. You literally have to, when you see the retracement happening, you have got to be lightning quick. Jump in with your Fibonacci, and you have to, you know, let's expand this out. Let's go to the lines real quickly. As soon as you start seeing something like that, if you've hit the zone in terms of the retracement perfectly, bam, just get on it. Draw yourself a line wherever you see the line. Go ahead and draw yourself a line. Go ahead and start to dig in and build some orders with some heavier cash, just a multiplicity of it towards the downside. Try and capitalize or try and establish a lower cost basis on your coins by saying, okay, we'll kind of pepper in along here. We want to go heavier as we get down into these different levels of retracement as defined by whatever pricing targets you come up with. That's the idea, okay? So that's essentially what we're looking at. You sold at the exact perfect time. Space Ranger is literally the example right now, guys, that, you know, it is possible to maximize the profits. Now, the trick, it sounds like he's out. What would have been nice, Space Ranger, is to work your fibs. You know, we have a video published on that, right? You go back and watch that video, but you need to do it in the micro. We just talked about the macro versus the micro, okay? The macro being the entirety of the price action. Let's look at the 6 months here. The entirety of the price action. Let's see if we can get into this. This is kind of messy. It's there we go. So as we look at the entirety of the price action, that's this overall fib, which we can extend out for purposes of an example all the way through here. Okay, now we definitely reset this the Fibonacci up in this level, but so that you understand, selling here, Space Ranger and crew, selling here and buying here is perfect. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to buy low and sell high. Okay, buy low, sell high. We want to continually do that. We don't want to see 50% of our account or our holdings go down. We don't want to see our holdings go down 50%. A decrease in value of our holdings by 50%. We just don't want to see that occur. So you sold at the exact perfect time. Now you have to apply it though. What you have to do, Space Ranger and crew, guys, loyal subscribers, check it out. That's fine in terms of what he did. That's perfect. But you have to recalculate quickly. If something's in an uptrend, sell high, beautiful. Then recalculate. Get in here in a matter of seconds. I mean, literally a matter of minutes or seconds. It'll take you probably maybe a minute, maybe minutes. I don't know. I think you're quicker than that though, Space Ranger and everybody else. And that's a great story in terms of kind of what that's all, what this process looks like. How much time do you have? It's an intensive process. It's a very intensive process. But if you see this, starting to correct, or if you're out it's met a threshold that you've already measured up, and we'll talk about kind of a derivative analysis, extrapolating that data so we kind of know its threshold. Or if you know the 44 or 45 is already a preset threshold, what you want to do? Well, you've got that, and let's pull this back over to kind of set the stage for what we would be doing, how long it would take. Let's say we decided to sell out here. Let's say we don't necessarily have this information yet on the residual, on the retracement. We just know it's kind of met a threshold limit, right? Good. All we need to do is bam. Let's go ahead and draw a fib, and there we go. Now we zoom in. We already have in what? Less than 5 seconds, I'd say 10 seconds, we already have all of our fibs, guys. Okay, all of our fibs, we have them. We have the accumulation levels to where it's likely to retrace to allow us to get back in at a lower level. You understand that? We sell out high, we buy in low. Market maker comes down to pick us up. There are probably some bigger orders down here of people who sold. They're flipping it around while other people are just getting in kind of sloppily. You are kind of pre-designating your position. You're calculatively exiting and entering. You can do that in 20 seconds, brothers and sisters, whoever I said, but I don't want to assume you're all guys. But yeah, you can do that in 20 seconds very easily. All right, I know you can. It took us 10 seconds to draw this fib up here. As soon as it takes you to click on the left-hand side, bam, choose the fib, you're out, you choose the fib, and immediately, bam, you already have your pricing targets here on the right-hand side, ready to execute, ready to enter into limit orders. Okay, that's the way trading is done. That's the way, you had the excellent exit. Beautiful story, phenomenal story. All right, you draw your fibs. It takes 10 seconds. Bam, you choose the Fibonacci tool. Bam, you go from the low to the high on the line chart. I would suggest you're immediately back in at all your different calculated levels. Striding, I normally follow kind of the lead. I'd say lead strategy on this, which is accumulating heavier, double or triple down as you get down into the mix. So heavy weighting, putting your cash down towards the bottom, that just keeps you in line with the demand curve and with the opportunity to, decrease your cost basis. You want coins at a lower price. Cost basis means price per coin. So you want to achieve a higher volume at a lower price. Okay, meaning more coins at a lower price. So that's what this will do. If you kind of protect yourself, you can still invest a little bit. It'll pepper in at the top. Just pepper in if you want to, in case it decides to go back up on the upside. You guys get that? We kind of pepper in at the top and around here. Once it reaches this 22%, no problem. Or this 23.6%, no problem. Just pepper in a little bit. Just set the order up. At this, calculate up this level, maybe $100. This level, bam, we're gonna put in $300. Or we're gonna at this level, bam, we'll do whatever it is. If it's 200, then if we're gonna double or triple that, 600, then maybe 1800, then maybe 5400. However you're doing things. But that's the level. We have a great video. You guys look at that on how to buy crypto, and it will literally walk you through this process on the aggregate and the micro. So we'll get into that a little bit. Just shout out to Space Ranger, guys, because he did a phenomenal job. Keep an eye on Space Ranger. That's a great job. You don't have to say you were seeing a solid retracement. It's beautiful. You don't have to say, oops, you did a perfect job, Space Ranger. Great job. Great exit. Perfect exit. Just draw this real quickly. Bam. You put this up, you're ready to go. Right? You've got that. You're ready to do your calculations. You're ready to stack your cash. I have a preset on my charts. I'll normally have a preset. Let's see if I can find it. A preset. Yeah, I've already got a preset amount that I can drag around on my chart, so you guys know. And this is a feature in TradingView. It's just the text feature. You can add these in. That's the T, essentially that T bar that you'll have there. Okay, I drag these around. I'm ready to kind of deploy this at any kind of level. All right. Now this assumes a lot. It's just an example. Okay, not financial advice. I want to just state that at all times. You guys know that. But what this is I'm ready to plug this in, Space Ranger. Bam, right there. This is, I don't know if you guys can see this. Why don't I just zoom in and make this very large? Let's do this like 32. I think that should be large enough. There we go. Now you're seeing how that it wants to work. I'll say, this scale's not going to be perfect. I'm going to do it like that. A little bit bigger than what I want. That's fine. Okay, now you're seeing what I'm doing immediately. I've got my pricing targets and the amount of cash invested at each level. When it wants to retrace, bam, 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 bam. It literally takes me, it takes me all of 10 or 15 seconds to draw up. You got out, Space Ranger, at the perfect exit. Then immediately you're back in You have your dollar amounts, okay, increasing, doubling or tripling as you go down. You guys do your own calculations. This is an idea to increase your exposure at lower levels. You may have a key level and say, I only play the golden pocket. If it picks me up, that's fine. I only play the 61.8% to the 65%. That's a strategy. You can play that. See how that does for you. If it's easier, if you don't like these heavy calculations, you don't have to trade like this. This is advanced trading. And this is some heavy stuff that you're going to look at. You're going to be doing calculations quickly. You're going to want to make sure that your calculations are correct. But I tell you guys, it's trading. We're going to talk about, well, how do people trade? What are they doing? They're not just all buying and holding. Some, like Space Ranger, he's out perfectly. Re-accumulate down into the $1,800 level. I mean, he makes cash, guys. You wind up making cash that way. So, solid move, brother. Solid move, Space Ranger. Love to see that perfect exit. Maybe work on those figures to the right and do your own calculations. When I say that, do your own calculations. See what you think is good, and always have. This is the trick, guys. Always having, irrespective of what's there, always having back up lower level resource cash. I mean, like whatever this multiple is, be able to double and triple down through these other levels. Boom, boom, boom. So you have a huge level of insurance. You're never going to get washed out. If this thing wants to recorrect, if it wants to correct 50%, you're fine. You can use protective stops if you choose to. I prefer to just have cash at the lower levels. That's kind of where I'm at. But we do go through times like previously where we're just kind of, we decide, the coach blew the whistle and we are gone. Let's see what we have on. So on my Ask London and Discord about probabilities. This is from Crypto. We want to say thank you, by the way, to Space Ranger. Thank you for the support. We appreciate you bringing that up because you're proof positive that those exits can happen perfectly. We just talked about this morning. Let's talk about this. Could it be any more perfect? Especially if you got in at our target price of what was that? Just under 20 cents. You sold at 44. Some people got in at 20 cents and are still in. That's why it was crashing to the floor. No one knew what to do. I was like, it's all falling apart. Like, no, I said, no, it's at 1948. Bam. It held over through the next morning. Phenomenal hold for Dogecoin. A great call for us. That was a huge call for the channel, guys. But it was all mathematical. It was very easy to do. So that was a great call. But yeah, some people, Space Ranger, some people bought at 20 and you're out at 40. You have a 2x in 10 days. Come on, man. That's beautiful. That's solid trading. That's very solid trading. Let's look at Crypto Headquarters. Says, so on my Ask London Discord about probabilities, does today's events change the 3 outcomes that could happen on Saturday? Great question. Very good question. Very, very good question. We will get into that in a moment, Crypto HQ. I will definitely get into that. I'd like to address that question. I think it's a great question. The different scenarios that what could happen on Saturday, and we'll discuss that in regards to essentially the price action. I think what you're getting at, from what I understand, is whether or not the price action essentially has already pre-built in levels, or I guess if we have pre-established price action or movement based upon Elon's going in on Saturday. That's the way I took the questions, Crypto, and let's say Crypto HQ. And I like your Twitter, by the way. You got a nice logo, good branding going on. But that's the question we're going to get into. Is this kind of like an earnings report phenomenon? A lot of times people in stocks will say, well, it's going to beat the earnings. Let's go ahead and, let's buy more. It's going to beat the earnings. It's going to go up. Yeah, we're going to surpass the street's expectations. Guys, those are already built in to the reports. Typically someone you'll see as you hang around the street, a lot of people get caught by surprise, okay? Because you'll have the earnings report, it'll beat the estimates. Let's say Apple beats the estimates and the price will go down. And the point is, it's already built into the assumptions that it's going to beat the price. Everyone knows Apple's going to beat the price. That's just an example. So in the context of a kind of a media event like Elon going up for Dogecoin, the question is going to be, is that built into the price already? And I think that essentially is what your question hinges on, Crypto Headquarters, and appreciate talking to you and you speaking to us. We may go back into that, specifically in that Discord and kind of bring that out. But I think that's what it speaks to, and we're just going to have to see. I would say if things become, as we would expect Saturday Night Live to be, and if Elon, somehow or whatever they decided to do is, I'll say this: I don't believe the PR department for Elon Musk Okay, I just don't believe the PR department for Elon Musk. Please take this to account, guys. Let this sink in. I don't think his PR team is going to let Dogecoin fall through the floor while he is on live TV. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it on a fun night for him on a Saturday night, him walking to the dressing room at the end of the day and them telling him, oh, well, everyone just lost 40 or 50% of their money. It's crashed through the floor. I don't see that happening, guys. He has a big team. The guy literally has got the solo contract to deliver astronauts to the moon. Literally, NASA approved that was a few weeks ago. So no, I don't really see that as feasible. I don't see that as feasible that it's going to have just an awful day. So we'll go through those scenarios more in depth, Crypto HQ, and maybe even tomorrow we'll heavily go into those, and I'll put a big star in there. But I want to talk about kind of anticipated news, kind of pre-calculated news events. And you could make the analogy with earnings, but yeah, I think it's a great question. We'll get into that in a little bit more detail, maybe later on, and definitely I put a star next to it, just with your HQ next to it. So thank you, and thank you, Space Ranger, for the Space Ranger getting out perfectly, timing the exit beautifully. I just have to say beautifully. And yeah, you guys pay attention to Crypto HQ on Twitter and also in Discord. He's got really phenomenal questions. It's nice to see. In terms of Space Ranger is back saying, I'm concerned about buy-in. Still not 100% on my fib drawing. I understand the concept, but still shaky on where to start the bottom of the fib scale. A lot of people are. It's okay. And what you have to get into is, I'm going to tell you, you can be more aggressive or less aggressive on it. If you've already, let's go there. So your style of trading is going to depend essentially where you want to draw your lines. Sometimes I can make them more aggressive. Sometimes I can make them more conservative. How would I make them more conservative? I would do this. Okay, why is that? Well, if I'm dealing with essentially kind of my investment levels that I've decided, if I deal with my investment levels, I'm going to lay out my investment levels and decide now I want them to match up like this. Okay, I'm bringing all these percentages. Watch these levels fall. You see the levels continue to fall. So I'm not re-engaging. Let's just say, for instance, if I wanted to bring them down to this level. Now, I wouldn't draw that fib. I just wouldn't draw that fib. But if I wanted to, I could, because then that only puts me kind of in the money at the level of, let's just say, at the investment level. As an example, guys, to understand, if I'm processing this very quickly, it's hit a point, it's going to retrace, then Space Ranger, I'm only at that second level of investment. I'm only at that 2x, so 1x, 2x, 6x, 18, and 54. This is the example, okay? Just to keep money heavyweight on the downside, to get more of your cash involved at lower levels. This protects you from getting over involved at essentially at any higher price, guys. So on the retracement, it's key as we focus on trying to acquire coins at a good price. We stack cash lower, and below this we have insurance. We have additional amounts of cash, double and triple down below this. So these are kind of the figures, and whether or not you're trading like this or just learning, it's good to pay attention. The question from Space Ranger now is, he got out at the right time, but he's a little bit iffy on his calculatives, on his Fibonacci's. Let's go through how to draw them, but I do want you to realize, first of all, if you wanted to draw them and just kind of extend them out, it could essentially make this a larger, say a longer period of time or a longer kind of interval. It will spread out the distance on the price at which you would essentially become committed. If you're following any kind of, you're coming up with pricing targets. So at each target, you're looking at investing. So I'm going to just recommend, the strategy complies with an understanding of the economic standard. That is, on a demand curve, there's more demand as the price goes down. Some people want to put in more money at the top and less at the bottom. Well, that's not normal market behavior, guys. The demand curve says that as the price drops, you will experience, typically in a normal market, okay, you will have greater demand. So if the price drops, you'll have greater demand. If it's too expensive, you're not going to have any demand. So what you can do essentially is, as these targets are essentially recalculated, and take this into heart as you look at this, Space Ranger, as you move this up, what you're doing is you are collapsing all of these potential pricing targets closer to the top of the price action. Okay, so that's going to involve necessarily your levels of reinvestment at higher levels. All right. As you extend them down, you're spreading your money out over a larger period of time. You're engaging less of your capital. So engaging more of your capital, engaging less of your capital. I just always try and look at something reasonable to the left. I'll just say probably the best thing to do. And as I look at the previous kind of channel action, I always do that, Ranger. I'll look at the previous channel action and I'll say, okay, this looks kind of like a well-defined previous channel. Whatever's going on in here is kind of part of this channel. You can see everything kind of within this consolidated red zone in the previous action, in this previous price action. Before we decide to establish, let's establish it right here, man. Maybe we decide to establish it right there. Okay, maybe I want to cut off everything from this previous channel. Okay, this previous kind of consolidation channel represented by this red stripe right here. Okay, so that's what we would look at in terms of where would we draw this. Where would we draw the Fibonacci? If we want to reaccumulate, if we're going to reaccumulate and reinvest after making a perfect exit, like Space Ranger just did, right? He just wrote in perfect exit, perfect. He's like, well, how do I know exactly how to, to draw my Fibonacci's? I tell you, brother, it's kind of up to you. You could even, I'm going to tell you, you could even use it as a tool if you chose to, and say, you know what? I'm going to be more aggressive because I haven't seen it hit. In a super bullish environment, you might say, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of potential investment. Okay, I'm doubling and tripling down as we get through every tier here. At least more money on the lower sides here, or maybe every time you decide no, instead of that, because that's just normal market function, guys. That's being a normal, I'd say, participant of the market. As the price drops, you have more money. As the price goes down in these tiers, you have more cash available. That's just normal market behavior. You guys have been through business classes, economics classes, etc. I've got an econ degree and certification in markets. So that's just normal. Lower price, more money, more demand. So, but what you can do, if things become heavily bullish, you can, if you decide, move these levels of engagement up. You may say, you know what? I don't care. I want to re-engage quickly. I don't believe it's going to retrace much. After you confirm, Space Ranger, that it was going to be a retracement, you're out at about 44, which was a beautiful level. It was amazing, huh? Beautiful call. So as you do that, you may say, no, but I want to re-engage my cash quickly. I don't think it's going to be a heavy retracement. Okay, now you're starting to play with some really advanced kind of techniques. You're watching it at that point. I'll tell you that much. You are watching the price. You're going to get to where you have. Once you watch enough, you're going to get to where you have a good feeling in terms of what it's doing. You're going to be able to watch the velocity of it. You're going to be able to kind of better predict what it's going to do. You'll see kind of the key levels be hit. You'll see it kind of dance around to the upside, downside, kind of play around, or you'll just see it just aggressively move. You'll kind of know where you're going, where it wants to take you, and you'll know essentially, in a bull market, a real strong bull market, you may want to collapse these up. You may just use this as a tool. You may not be worried and concerned with exactly the point in time, exactly the initiation of the trend. You may do it here. That may be fine. Okay, you may go to the most recent kind of where this starts. You may view this all as a consolidation. Typically, I'll say in a sideways channel like that, typically I'll give the previous price action to the channel, to this sideways consolidating channel. I'll give that previous price action to that channel. I'll designate that to the channel. That's not always. I don't always do that. There are some reasons why I decide to kind of dip down into here. But essentially all you're doing, Space Ranger and everybody else, all you are doing is adjusting your levels of investment. And I say levels of investment because, guys, that's why they give these to you, is to be able to calculate your entry spots. Okay, so we can intelligently talk about the retracement of the price. All right, so that's exactly what you're doing. As you decide to make that calculated decision, if you move this up, and I guess that would be me being a little bit more aggressive. I have to admit that, but I also find it to be a little bit more accurate as well. But you understand now, Space Ranger, if I move this up, if I move this, the initiation of this trend up on the Fibonacci line, this trend line, excuse me, and essentially that's what you're drawing, is this trend line. What I'm doing is I'm compressing these levels. I am stepping up, okay, my levels of investment. Because now, just keep your eye on the red line. Keep your eye on this red line up top. Focus on this red line. Now, at the red line, I'm going to put in $100. Let's say I'm going to put an order in for $100. If I move this up, this is my strategy. If I move this up, okay, to get, you see that red line on top? Watch the red line. You see that red line on top? Yeah, as I move it up, that red line moves up. Every line moves up, right? So every line, as I look at a potential reinvestment, every single line is moved up to a higher price. I'm more aggressive in terms of engaging my cash. On something that's bullish, you may want to look at engaging your cash a little bit more aggressively. That will prevent you from feeling like you're being left behind at all. So, in this moment in here, as you're looking at, let's look at this price action in and around the 28th of April. Let's look at this. Now, you're not hitting down all the way into, let's say, a golden pocket. Let's get to why did that move off on me? I didn't want that. You're not looking necessarily at like a golden pocket feature here, but let's analyze this to see, how much got picked up. You're really only at the 38.2%. You may have gotten down into the 50% if we go to the candles. Yeah, you did. Definitely you did. And I say, some people just decide to trade. They'll get out on this. They'll say, okay, that's fine. I've made my, maybe, what is it, 30%? Who knows on this? I don't know. Yeah, 32%. I made my 32%. I'm cool. That's fine. I'm going to re-engage at the 50% level. That's where you start making money on these trades. I mean, essentially, if you're looking at if you're trying to hit, how many 20% do you need, guys, consecutively to double your money? You need 4. 4 20% trades, you double your money. So these start to add up, guys. When you're talking about 30%, and we just had Space Ranger with the example, he perfectly timed his exit on the top. Beautiful. How do you re-engage? Easy. Fibs. You throw your Fibonacci's up. You re-engage your capital. Some people have an example, and I'd like to hear that, guys. Some people want to just reinvest, bam, at the 50%. Well, guess what? It doesn't look like you got picked up, but that's why we go to the candles. And I say that because the 38.2 is this level. All right? And what you'll see in this is interesting. If you're going for the 50% and you play off the 50% in kind of a day trading dynamic, that 50% is right here. What do you go up to? As you're looking for your run of 20s. You're looking for a run of 20s. Some people may be looking for runs of 10 in this context, meaning you just made 10% on your cash, bam, you're out again. You made 30% here, let's say 20 to 30% here, whatever your threshold is, and then you made 10% here. Okay, so people stack these percentages, and they try and kind of create, create extra stacks or create multiples of their money. That's it's kind of like a matchbox theory. I kind of think of it as matchboxes. So they'll start with this amount of cash, right? They'll start with this amount of cash. They'll trade it up, and essentially they'll try and double it. Okay. In with trading everything else, people who aggressively trade, and it's been fortunate because you haven't necessarily needed to do that. You could have done even better than 2 times your money. But as you trade, you try and just stack another one of these. Bam. That's kind of house money, trading money. Bam. We built another one, right? So that's the idea as you go in and say, now let's play with this one. Okay, great. Let's throw this around. We need to hit 420s, right? 420% returns. Yeah. Now we got another one. Bam. We doubled that one. So then you wind up with your stack. Okay, let's trade this one, again, let's trade up here. All right, great. We want 4 trades, essentially, however long that takes, guys. Just as an example. 4 trades, bam. There's another one. We try and kind of stack those. And that's the idea in terms of trading. It's just fun. I mean, it's a good time. So you guys you're hitting your targets. You're hitting your extensions. I'm glad to hear that. That's phenomenal. You need a little help on the Fibonacci's. It's not necessarily intuitive. I'll tell you guys, it's not perfect. I was in with an alpha trader today, and guys, we were on a Macintosh. I want to let you guys know we were on an Apple computer this evening. We were talking about Dogecoin. She's a big Doge investor. She loves Doge. She is. She should be the hallmark of, essentially, guys. She's impressive. Bianca, shout out to you. You should be the representative for Dogecoin for South America. Very sophisticated lady. Very beautifully minded girl. I'll say that. So it's a pleasure to deal with her and everyone else at the crypto kingdom. So the honor is mine. I'll say that, Bianca, and with everyone else. So as we look at this, re-engaging that capital. And I just look at, after we have a discussion like that and I hear Space Ranger, he pulled the trigger, he's out. He had an opportunity to make, to save 10%. I mean, essentially he would have lost 10% on whatever trade he had entered into. And you start looking at this, you're like, how could he not have re-engaged his capital, right? Because at the 78.6, you're like, man, that was a bargain right there, huh? So you could have saved 10%. And then you could have because he timed it perfectly, guys. Literally, Space Ranger was out right here. He's like, I think I messed up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. You just, do those fibs quickly. So you stand a great chance. You save 10%. You could have re-engaged, been already up 8%. So the level of predictability or not, you guys are kind of proving that there's some skills in the house. It's nice to see that. So let's look real quickly at some different things. Let me look at the chat real quickly and just kind of say shout out to Jeff Arnett, shout out to Red Raider. What's up, Red Raider in the house? And shout out to Oz. What's up, guys? These are kind of our leaders. Let's go ahead and I'm going to pin this. I'm going to pin that message at the top there for you guys. So you can look at that and let's see what we got. If I can read through some of these questions and see people saying don't sell. All right. And let me look in terms of Jeff's got a question there. Anything in today at 53, pull back, look at a bit chart. At a bit chart. I'm not sure what at bit chart. I guess you want me to look at bit. We're going to cover Doge for a minute here, and then we may get into some different alts just to kind of make sure, because people do have like pressing questions on where they're at. And unless you're saying like Bitcoin, and I'm not sure you're talking about Bitcoin. Bit chart been running around gaming bot and today at 53. Oh wow, okay, good, Jeff, good. Some of you guys are buying into Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin's a big story. I don't know, we want to cover it right now. That's a big story, guys. You are dealing with a potential fake out on a reverse head and shoulders. A failure of a reverse head and shoulders. Not exactly just common ordinary stuff when you have a $1 trillion industry that might fake you out on whether or not it really wants to comply with its head and shoulders reversal, but its reversal, reverse head and shoulders completion. So yeah, no, just standard kind of stuff, run of the mill stuff. No pressure anywhere, right? Yeah, a ton of pressure. Anyway, hey, what's up, Adam? Adam, what's going on, brother? Sure. Adam wants to know about the VIP perks. You got it. What we're going to talk about, VIP perks. It's just, guys, we're going to have exclusive streams. We're going to have one of the things is going to be the group that you're in there with. There's already some really accomplished guys in terms of just being, it's a good group of guys. I'll start off with that. We're going to be producing additional, if you look at all of this information, these are charts, guys. So this is the type of information that can kind of be put forth. It is put forth. I generate a lot of these that I wind up not necessarily giving to people because they're not, I would say I'm not sure who is getting it. I'm not sure of the level of sophistication. I'm not sure whether or not they're receiving any kind of, if they're receiving it the right way. So I am, I've got a lot of these charts. A lot of them are bang on. I mean, you want to talk about pricing targets, etc. But some of them are just instructional. So I've started to give some instructional ones to the VIP crew. Essentially, it's like technical traders who want to get involved and say, hey, I want to learn, increase, an additional amount of technicals here. It's not going to be the same kind of screaming stuff you see on other channels, guys. The VIP channel is different. And I appreciate you asking about this. Very much so. It's important, Adam. So we're going to give you some classical kind of, textbook approaches. We may see something in a different coin that's kind of off on the periphery. We will go ahead and bring that to you and let you know this is kind of on the periphery. We'll kind of educate you maybe about the exchange. If you're traveling overseas or anything like that, you may be able to plug this in. Today it was cool today. I brought up to people, this is kind of the hottest, coolest Visa card you can possibly get. Just FYI. I know there's like the Centurion with American Express, but it's different perks kind of like that too. I know this is kind of like the VIP crew. And, I want to let you guys know, like, what's the, I want you to know. Okay, I know, and some people know. You may know some things that we don't know. So, we can kind of share all of that. But I want you to know, like, what's the coolest, Visa card, like, on the planet. $250,000 to like a $2 million line of credit. I want you to know that. That's like a perk. All right. So perks like that, perks like this in terms of the overall. I just say financial technicals. We would say technical analysis of the financials, and that's the book that I honed in on since high school, guys. Also, just I can bring the knowledge of my career to you guys, and I know some of you would like to be more involved, but not kind of like on a heavy kind of session basis with instructions on the. This will allow us to get to a broader audience. and for it to be more efficient. So a lot of times on the streams we'll go for, I'll decide to go on the stream sometimes for like 2 hours, 3 hours, because I know everyone has a different schedule. Okay, so I try and accommodate people who just want to flow in and still kind of receive up-to-date information. The alternative is me to make a stream that lasts, say 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Well, people in different schedules around the world, etc., they don't want to necessarily watch what's already happened. They'd rather tune in when they have time, and they want live kind of action. So that's those are the perks, Adam, and there's more where that came from. Also, we are designing the VIP card with the designer from the US Open, the tennis championship, the world-renowned tennis championship. She's done some work. She's done some work for me in the past, and so I have engaged them today, that group today. So it's going to be fantastic. Big shout out to them. We love you. So they're great people. So those are the perks for the VIP, and you're going to love it. And I've been there before at different groups, a Patreon or something. The worst thing is to feel not appreciated. Gosh, I was just like, man, we're here. We just want to, we are here, right? We want to feel appreciated. We want to feel recognized. So that's an opportunity for me to really recognize you guys. And from Lars to Kent, Matt, Angelica, Bent Frog, we have, guys, we've got, multiple people already in the VIP, and it's going to be a good group. I just know it's going to be a good group. It's going to be solid. We're going to have, cool kind of credentials. I want to get you guys cool VIP cards. They're going to be, top shelf designed, and it's just going to be a cool deal. You guys are involved in crypto. I want it to reflect like this is really cool stuff. So just expect good charts, expect kind of good ideas in terms of future. I won't say it's not a get rich quick club. That's just not it. It's just going to be an exclusive group of people who want to learn and kind of want to be plugged in, potentially even to each other. I'd say in terms of just contacts, connections, networking, it might be a good group. There are some really phenomenal people in the group. So let's see. That's Adam. That's what I got so far. We've got additional information which we can kind of share with you. I don't want to share too much because some of that, like that awesome Visa card, it's not just a Visa. It's not like can't leave home without it. This one's like, yo, you did not just leave home. You showed up. With this one, you're going to show up. So anyway, that's kind of one of the perks. The guys that are in the VIP, you've already seen it. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm at the Rolls Royce dealership. I need to buy a Phantom. I'm sorry. I just needed to call in and let you guys know I'm about to buy a Phantom. Oh well, no problem. Just go ahead and give them the card and put us on the phone with them now. It's that level of a Visa. Okay, I speak from experience. So you guys want to know what that is? That's what that is in terms of what you guys saw in the VIP lounge tonight. So enjoy that card. I look forward to your stories about it. Anyway, as we go to what is this? Space Ranger's back with another comment. I want to bring this up. Got it. Light bulb. Talking about the Fibonacci's, the retracements. Any of you remember when you finally understood the epsilon delta definition of limit? I almost dropped out of college. Okay, well, Space Ranger, if you can remember the epsilon delta definition of a limit, then you at some point you may be putting on some clinics for us, brother. That is nice. We will have to catalog that one in the record books because I think that's humorous, very humorous. But yeah, Space Ranger making some mad cash today, guys. Mad cash on Doge. Very nice to see. And just with technical expertise, he belongs in this channel. I guarantee you, is one of the loyal subscribers. That's when I talk about people who are really intelligent, guys. You don't hear all the stories. We don't always have people just promoting up and letting us know how they're doing. But yeah, Space Ranger just killed it today. Absolutely killed it. So we were talking about that retracement theory, and you see it now, right? He's like, the light bulb went off. Big shout out to Space Ranger. So it's a beautiful reaccumulation strategy. It's just how to flip and make essentially an extra 10% of your money. If you're trying to make those 4 trades for 20%, can you flip it in the meantime real quickly, and can you make 10% right here? You can make more than 10% right here. So that's the idea, is once you identify, like you had identified that key retracement, the next move, bam. Now you've got all you're out. You've got all of your pre-calculated levels with your fibs. It's automatically listed, guys. Automatically listed. And I can teach. I'll teach the VIP. I've taught some of the alphas, but I'll put forth a video, and that's where they'll be able to find it in the future. That's another thing. A lot of the alphas have wanted there to be kind of a program area for the recorded videos that applies to what they're learning. So that VIP will allow that for them as well. As I look at this, and I'll teach you guys how to do this. as I look at like the golden pocket, I can immediately transfer over and just apply the golden pocket to whatever I'm involved in, whether it's the macro or whether it's the micro. So that's very important. That's very, very important, and that's something I will teach you guys how to do. We'll put that up. We can talk through it here. It's kind of long and tedious unless you're really into this stuff. It's just not going to hit kind of it's not going to hit I don't know the populace in terms of everybody wanting to know how to do that. Some people just don't. They're not real concerned about that. So we can also adjust these, make them look kind of like Binance. We can do a whole lot of different things. That's what we focus on. It's kind of the expertise of this program as much as we can. So everything's in the red. You guys understand that. Looks like Sol is trying to peek out. Interesting. Sol wants to peek out for a minute. Not bad. Dogecoin just looking solid again. I had said this morning, some of you guys have flipped out and traded this up and down, or just trying to kill this on a day trading level. I'm impressed. You know, people thinking they messed up. Well, got out at the perfect time. It's beautiful. I mean, perfect. I mean, you scored a 100, brother. That's amazing, Space Ranger. So let's just look at that, and yeah, back down through to the golden pocket. And again, I like to think of this as a spring coil, just wham, just spring coil and trajectory up. Hopefully, that's what we're going to see. You know, the notion that there's just nothing that can stop Dogecoin. That's what this morning was all about. I did the stream this morning and just letting people know that, like, yeah, exactly. That's what we're looking at is just unstoppable, guys. That's what unstoppable looks like. This right here is what unstoppable looks like. Now, what stopped at the 45? And what was that? That was the previous level that you had to go to. The important notion here is that we have broken out in and above this on the line chart, in and above the previous high on the line chart. That's a nice move, guys. That's a nice significant move as we look at that. That previous high on the line chart has been busted through. It's been conquered. So congratulations. As we look at that, though, the invisible line it couldn't really pass. We have to go, look at this area. There's nothing really there. We have to go to the candles. All right, once we go to the candles, we see this area. Yeah, we remember. Guys, 50% in an hour. In 1 hour, this went up 50%. That was a day, wasn't it? I remember that. It was a lot of fun. We were having fun, no problem. Good. I guess good problem to have. You know, it's like, can we keep up with the price action, essentially? So we did establish a new high today on the line chart. Nice, nicely done. Nice to see. It had done that as well here. You guys understand that it had done that beforehand, because the previous high in and around here. Pay attention to this. You guys get this? See the previous high up in here? Let's look at the line chart. What happened? Well, the line chart is down here. Okay, so they tell a different story. They tell a different story when you guys do your calculations in terms of your Fibonacci's. You're going to have to make some judgment calls. I just tell you have to make some judgment calls. I prefer looking at the line chart. It's just more, it's more apparent to me. I feel like it's a more consolidated, a nice consolidated view that I can essentially trade and apply my technicals to. When I look at the kind of carrying over previous kind of historical pricing events to additional areas of the pricing or additional future events, I feel like the line chart gives me a better dynamic to do that in. So that's why I do that from a technical basis. It's not necessary, but that's why I do it from a technical basis. So we have rounded out this this full, almost like a cup formation. I'm not sure it wants to do that. If the 45 proves to be, this will be interesting for Dogecoin, guys. If the 45 right here, which it has hammered up into around this date of the 16th of April, guys, which it hammered up, couldn't get above 45. If, guys, literally, it's formed this beautiful cup formation here. If the 45 is too much again, I'll say what you're going to run into. I'd say almost as a matter of fact. I don't know this as a matter of fact, but it's going to be very difficult to not have this run into a cup and handle. All right, so that would form on this side. A cup and handle would form on this side, essentially. A classic one would, and then we would see some positive pricing trajectory up and through these kind of highways. I've just kind of made these highways. No specific reason. Just had some previous action in and around the other levels and wanted to move these up into here, but they have served as kind of like a blockade for at least now. But guys, we're going to push it very soon here. It looks like we're pushing it, so I would expect this price action to continue to go up. If we curve on down and it looks like we're just unable to conquer that 45 for right now, I'm not so sure that's going to be a lasting let's say a lasting phenomenon. With Elon heading in on Saturday, I just, now it's had a great run up. It just seems like it's been pretty smooth. guys. It seems like it's been pretty smooth. So I'd like to see that continue, of course. And let me look in terms of James Bond. Yo, what's going on, James Bond? How art thou? We want to say, how art thou indeed, brother? What's going on with you? We need to clean up some of these. I just want to let you know on these specified, okay, these Fibonacci levels. This happens at every level. What Space Ranger was talking about, getting out perfectly. And you guys may want to rewatch if you just showed up. You may want to rewatch. It's a good lesson. When and around Space Ranger starts asking the questions, and we really appreciate that. You're kind of feeding the community. It's a great way to do that. He exited at 44. He said he saw a retracement coming, and he thinks he messed up. Like, no, you did exactly what you should have done. The trick is you should have picked up at the lower level. You should have had that, whatever your designated amount is for this level, because you're all investing anyway. You want to have the designated amount at this level heavy weighted on the downside, okay? Essentially at the lower tiers, a heavier amount of the cash. That's just the demand curve, guys. Literally, that's just in line with the demand curve, which is at the lower prices, you're going to have more demand. It's real easy, uncomplicated, just very, matter of fact. Not any kind of advice. It's just, that's the demand curve. That's the textbook demand curve. So as you look at that, perfect exit. The re-entry is the key. That's when you make your 10 to 15%. All right, bam. 10 to 15% trade just by being out of the market for a second. Okay, you're able to re-enter more heavily at like a 10 to 15% additional kind of volume. You achieve like a volume kind of premium on that. All right, an increased volume, just 10 to 15% increased volume just from that. That's nice. That's very nice. I like that quite a bit. That sounds like some sophisticated trading going on there. Congrats, Space Ranger, on the exit. Perfect exit. We will see if Dogecoin wants to settle down a little bit. Let's take a look at kind of what it has done recently. Because it's gone into these kind of consolidation phases. It's enjoyed doing that. It's almost like it's been a necessary part of the price. Look at this. You see that? Nice consolidation, guys. Nice little consolidation. Lasting how long? How long did this last? In around, what was that? 2 days, guys. 2 days it decides to consolidate. Then it has some nice price action to the upside. Then what do we have? How long does this consolidate? About 1 day and 7 hours. Okay. 2 days, 1 day, something like that. Then we have some nice price action to the upside. Then how long will this consolidate? Well, we have we're at about 6 hours, 7 hours right now. Okay, so we have about 2 days. Then we have about 1 day. We have some different measurements. This is just like an analytical. What we're trying to do is kind of do a derivative analysis. We don't want the average necessarily. Okay, it may depend. When I say derivative, we're going to include different variables. One of those variables is the fact that we may be kind of approaching a limitation feature in the form of a resistance. You guys see that? So that's a different variable we would want to account for in what would be called a derivative analysis instead of just a basic average. Let's look at a basic average. Well, how long was this involved here? And you guys can do that very quickly. If you guys have ever looked at the lines here, you can draw what's called an info line. Where's the info line? Right here. You guys are wondering how to do this, huh? Just draw an info line. Bam, bam. All right. Now, how much time is on that? Let's see. Does it tell me how much time is on this? It has to tell me how much time. Excuse me. Hold on. Let's get into this. I know this is going to tell me. I may have to recalculate it. An info line should tell you exactly how much time has elapsed. It should tell you also the percentages. Let's see what we have here. Distance is 99. Well, we may have to redo our info lines. Typically, an info line will do that. I know for certain. I may have recalculated mine. Just go to the ruling measure right there and go ahead and do that. The 2 day, you may have to take a note of it if you don't keep the line on there. Do the 2 day and 5 hour. So 2 day and 5 hour, then recompute that, or you can kind of, if you want an average to start with, 2 days, 5 hours with 1 day and 10 hours. Okay? So you're looking at, I would just add those up. I would get an average, but then I would kind of adjust it by the fact that we're running into the resistance here. This resistance of, it's a resistance, of, 45 cents. It's been tapped on before, and it could frustrate the upside, essentially the consolidation, which kind of needs to occur, assuming that this isn't naturally fed into it. Now, and understand this, guys, if this is naturally perfectly fed into this, and this is where we get into kind of the derivative analysis, then we may be just fine. It may not frustrate things at all. But to the extent that there's a difference here, okay, as we look at, let's take this green line. This represents the positive price action, okay? essentially from the moment of the initiation of the trend. You guys can watch this from the previous consolidation to the kind of the initiation of the upward trend on this previous price action. We want to try and apply that and say, does that carry over well here? Okay? And we want to see, well, almost perfectly, right? Almost perfectly. In and around, if that carried over perfectly there, we would be at, and let me, brought up my Forex, sorry about that. If we perfectly calculated that there, we'd be in at the, what is this? The 46, all right? So we'd actually be above where we were able to accomplish currently, above that line, the 45. Okay, so we'd be at the 46. So that tells me there may be a little bit of frustration or cutback here. Okay, so we have what is already, and let's look at this, guys, because we had that, what was it, 2 days and some odd hours, 2 days and 10 hours, was it? 2 days and 2 days and 5 hours. Then it was 1 day and 10 hours, I think. So 2 days and 5 hours, 1 day and 10 hours. So we have kind of a more compressed style here of the consolidation. Okay, we have a consolidation, becoming more compressed. Then we have kind of an abbreviation or kind of a shortening of the overall price trajectory based upon something that has definitely shown up. See, it could have been just naturally built into it. You guys understand that? It could have been that literally at this point from the May 3rd, the run up that literally, well, we were just going to kind of naturally fade out at the 45 cents anyway. And based upon kind of the application of the previous move, we should have gotten up to the 46. We didn't. That 45 kicked in heavily. Okay, so we're already compressed on the time frames, increasingly compressed on the time frames. Now we're kind of compressed on essentially on the price action. Okay, so that's coming into play. I'd say that's definitely coming into play while we're in a shorter interval. Okay, so should we expect, the question you get into as you're kind of projecting out here, as you're looking at reaccumulating or, and the question is going to be now, if you're into it, this is going to be the question for you, Space Ranger, etc. Anyone else who got into this right now, and I mean, this is just so close right now, but at what point would you not want to see a consolidation? At what point would you not want to see, and just pay attention, you guys you'll appreciate this question. At what point would you not want to see where's my scuba mask? Where is it? Dun, 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 dun. Where is this thing? Right in here. Where's my polyline? I do this sometimes with this polyline. For some reason, I can't find this polyline about half the time. It just likes to, it's under the brush. You guys, this polyline, okay? Now, it looks like a scuba mask. If you guys look up here, it looks like the scuba mask. All right, so as we look at this, positive price action, given the other consolidations, okay, we retrace to the 78.6, all right? Now we're working our way up. Now we may just cruise to the upside. I've said nothing has been able to stop Doge except that 45 cent line. Okay, and that hammered in pretty heavily. You're at 44 cents. Okay, if it does decide again, this will be a kind of a key gut check for people. Because if we hit 45 again, I almost bet it's a psychological level right now. It's going to take some cash to get up over that, guys. It's going to take some cash. Like in the market, they're going to have to push some buttons and they're going to have to get up over 45. Now, people may want to sell at 45 again. That may be kind of a psychological level right now because people have made money getting out of it multiple times. So you think, well, they've made money getting up to it, but then they've made money getting out of it. Like they held to a position to get there and they made cash, but then they re-engaged after it. So they're comfortable getting out at that level of 45, okay, with the gains they made getting there. Then they were able to re-engage at a lower level. So it's kind of like a double incentive for them. It's kind of been programmed in. So as we get back up to the 45, it's just going to take some cash to get up over that level. It can happen, okay? It can easily happen, and you guys know that. It's just it's going to be a function of the buyers and sellers going to see kind of how much cash is there and how much cash wants to be fed in versus unloaded. See what that market maker wants to do. So, but that is the question as we look at this and go back to the polyline. Now, as we do consider this, who's up for a little consolidation? Are you guys comfortable with that? And I always talk about like levels of investment in terms of not being over involved. But if we do cruise out to in between the 1 day, 10 hours, and the 2 days and maybe 5 hours, I think it was. As we look at those previous intervals in terms of the duration, are you guys comfortable with just kind of hanging out here? Because I know some of you were a little antsy to get out, or that you chose to make a good trade. Let me say that. You may be not anxious to get out, but you sounded anxious on the flip side, saying maybe you had messed up. You certainly hadn't messed up, timing it perfectly. So maybe a little anxious about whether or not you had messed up because you think maybe it's going up now. It certainly could. It could also try and consolidate. You guys need to be prepared for the fact it could consolidate, it could go down, or it could go up. At any point in time, you could achieve, okay, a consolidation in this area. You could achieve a negative price, or you could achieve a positive price. It has achieved a consolidation and then a positive price more frequently than not. But to the extent that it could break out of, or simply, let's say, essentially eliminate the need for consolidation, that could occur because we've kind of run into an unnecessary abbreviation or a limitation on that 45 cents. So if we're ready to break through that, it is possible, okay? So I'd say some of the factors, those variables, lead into the fact that potentially that could occur. Okay, and we could not have to go through this consolidation. Okay, essentially, I'm looking at the previous time frames, the fact that they're shortening. These consolidations are shortening. Okay, from this interval to this interval. Okay, to this interval now being tied up and not only potentially shortening, but running into a resistance level. We haven't experienced that dynamic previously here too on these previous price actions. There hasn't been kind of a wall that's frustrated things from going up, so it may not consolidate here as long. That's the only thing that I would say. It could also reject. We'll have to look at the major players. We'll have to keep an eye on Bitcoin. We'll have to look at kind of the overall market moves. Now, Ethereum. I don't know if you guys are big fans of Ethereum. I don't know what's going on with the group. What you guys would like to know, or what you're involved in. Dogecoin is so hot right now. It's got the best price action. I mean, you guys think it's running up there with Ethereum. Ethereum is like setting all the records right now, you know. And Dogecoin, I think the guys that are involved in Dogecoin are like, that's fine. Let Ethereum do what it kind of wants to do. That's fine. It can keep up with this for a minute, right? It's just Dogecoin has been phenomenal. The price action's been amazing, and we're fans of a whole lot of different things, from Harmony One to BNB to all types of stuff. If it's making money, we want to look into it. We want to see if it's making money on the downside and the upside, and what the price action is. It's not just what's going to go up, what prices are going to go to. And guys, pay attention to this. As you've just you just hit, like, essentially this has been 100% return on your money since this pricing event right here. Okay, and people always want to say, well, we want it to go to $1. That'd be great for the achievement that it would be to get it to $1, to get Dogecoin to $1. That's phenomenal. I'd love to see that. Understand, it would almost be the equivalent, guys, of the same move we just saw in this zone, guys. From here to here, it's literally, guys. If you made the same move from here to here, okay, from April, what is it, April 23rd to today, last 10 days or so, okay. If you made that same move from the current price, you'd be at about $1. So you guys if you want your overall returns, I just challenge you guys. It'd be great to get to $1. But if you like to trade, there's not much difference. We're always going to be able to trade. So those returns, as you look at them, put them in kind of, I'd say put them in perspective, that you want it to go to $1. For people that are holding, I hope it gets to $1 quickly. If that's what they've been holding for, I can imagine how exciting that must be for them, because they have been holding this whole time, hoping it goes to $1. That's just great. I hope you guys know what to do when you get there. And I just, I hope things work out really well for you, because we've been trading. That's what we've been doing the whole time, is trading. We've been the bulls to step in, guys. When you guys needed support at different areas, like we're hammering in right here. And so we've been trying to support it along the way. It's been quite an adventure, I'll tell you that much. We've met a ton of great guys along the way, and girls, a lot of great people. So it's been fun to be involved with. So I hope you guys do know what to do when it gets to $1, right? Make your plans. Don't count your chickens before, but make your plans. Look at this. Amidst all the red, it looks like we have a few waves. It wants to go back up. Interesting. Sol is kind of flirting around with doing something, and Doge is kind of peeking its head back out. This is when people are going to start looking at it and be like, oh, here it goes. If it's going to run through 45, I mean, I guess it's going to just try and do that here. while we're maybe, if we're just watching it, what do you guys think it's going to do? It's a great time for it to do it. Again, we talked about the fact it could, okay, kind of go through, abbreviate its consolidation, okay, abbreviate this consolidation and decide to push on through, because it has experienced kind of this unnatural resistance here at the 45, okay? It's a psychological level. It needs to be conquered. It's going to require some cash. The cash it can receive, guys, it can receive all this cash from all these other altcoins, all right? And we talk about, well, what's the kind of cash you're talking about? Just whale money? It can receive all the other cash from all these other altcoins. Some big players here and there deciding, okay, it's going to run again. It's about to break through. And just consider this, as Ethereum was achieving its new high, that's great news. If you had a previous position in Ethereum, fantastic, guys. You need to understand, literally, I mean, it's guys, put this in perspective. Wrap your head around this. We just received a 100% gain within the last 10 days. Wrap your mind around this. In the last 10 days, based upon our target, which was about 1958, just under 20 cents. All right, while the markets were crashing down. The equivalent in Ethereum would be the following, guys. Right now, it's at the Ethereum price is at about 3,300. Right. Within the last 10 days, we achieved a pricing target of 20 cents, under 20%, or under 20 cents, about 1948. And what I'm going to say is that would be the equivalent of, within the past 10 days, having achieved a pricing target of about, what is that? About $1,600 on Ethereum. Okay, $1,700, $1,600 to $1,700. I'm bringing that up in the equation because those are the returns. That's the equivalent you would have to think of. Ethereum, you couldn't get a price anywhere near that in the last 10 days on Ethereum. It was like, no way, right? Yeah. So you had to have a position in Ethereum for a while for Ethereum to really continue to make great sense to you. For people that have been involved in Dogecoin, guys, I mean, it's gone up 100% in the last 10 days. It's going to be difficult for Ethereum to really, it's doing a good job. It's got some institutional kind of, I'd say, levels of interest that are kind of ongoing. That's great, but that would be the equivalent. You would have had to get, to achieve parity here, you would have had to look at Ethereum and say, well, in the last 10 days, I'd like to pick it up for $1,600. Okay? It's about at 3,300, so about half price. Because that's essentially where we picked this up, okay, based on the pricing targets, where some of you guys picked it up, was half price, okay, from where it's at right now. From full value now. So that just speaks to the phenomenal nature of kind of why we're really honed in on Doge right now. Phenomenal. That's what when I say it's nice price action, we like the price action. That defines price action. So as we watch this kind of build out, and we can do that a little bit, this is developing price action, guys. Let's go into a different. We can get as detailed on this as we want to. This is on the 30-minute. We can go down to the 5-minute. We can go down to the second if we want to. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so this is kind of getting into the kind of the nano look as these build out. I don't know if you guys prefer to see the candles or you prefer to see the line chart. Either one is fine. But that's it looks like more ground to make up now. It's not. This is on the what are we on? The let's see. This is done on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so this is literally candles on the 5-minute increment. If we were to go down, just to let you know what Trading View can do, guys. If we go down to the second, we can go literally down to the second, and we can either look at the candles being built. All right. And you guys probably don't see this view all the time. This is on the premium version of Trading View. You probably don't see this built like this all the time, but we can get involved like that down to the second in terms of pricing action. Okay, and this is literally just going to deliver the information on a continual basis as orders just pile through. So that's the second. You can go all the way to, if you want to do like 15 seconds, something like that. Or if you want to build that up on the Premium or Pro edition of Trading View, you'll be able to do that. And always, guys, we looked at some different. What did we look at tonight? We helped someone download Trading View on a Macintosh computer. And we haven't really been through this on a Mac, but I want to let you guys know there's a specific link that you have to follow. If you guys have a Macintosh computer and you'd like to trade on TradingView, or you'd like to at least run your trades but through TradingView, you'd like to do the diagnostics, essentially the technical analysis, just understand that you can definitely do that. We can assist you in doing that. It's just kind of you do need to know the fix though. You need to know kind of how that works. So we were able to do that tonight. I was happy to be able to do that on the phone. That was nice. That was a nice time. So yeah, as we look at kind of the more concise time frame here, it looks like we're building up some pattern identification. That let's say some pattern identification is becoming obvious as we look at these more specified, more minute time frames. So that's what price action looks like, okay? When you really look at it in terms of, as we're trying to break through, see, we're forming a channel here. And so the dynamics that we look at on the aggregate, and then we kind of go to a lower frequency, well, they really start to form in terms of, kind of the minute time frames as well. So you'll have breakouts, you'll have, fake outs, you'll have all the same dynamics. You'll have Elliott waves. All the different things that kind of build into the aggregate, guys, are going to build into the kind of the micro level as well. So that's something that we haven't dealt with too much. You'll have bull pennant formations. You'll have consolidating channels. You'll have all different types of things. You'll have triangulations. You'll have all different kinds of really nice stuff. Nice stuff. You'll have nice stuff. You'll have nice technicals to look at. You'll have narrowing wedges. You'll have expanding wedges. You'll have all the different types of ascending and descending triangles. You'll have anything you could want as you dig into kind of where things are going. And some people do choose to trade these things very aggressively. So Space Ranger was talking about, well, I just can't get it right. I don't know, and that's not the truth. He got it perfectly right, just so you guys understand that. And he knows that. He understands that. I'm just giving him kind of a hard time because, I don't know, he can take it. He did a great job. So as you look at this, Space Ranger, understand that, yeah, you want to, get this right or not get this right in terms of the exact, the necessity to recalculate your fibs very quickly. Understand, we can go down to the 15-second mark instead of the hour mark. And if you really want to be quick, if you really want to get into day trading, like severely into day trading, we're kind of taking it light here, brother. I got to tell you, some people stay in trades for the previous hedge fund I owned, literally the best trader on the street that I could get. His average time in a trade, honestly, was, I want to say like maybe 15, 20 seconds. Big 7-figure positions, multi-million dollars going through, back and forth. I'd say 20 seconds. Bam, hitting it, waiting, watching, bam, he's out. Picking up 5, 10, 20 grand at the pop. Just, bam, he's in. 5, 10, 20 seconds later, bam, he's out. So that is literally, kind of what goes on in terms of how quickly those fibs can be on and redrawn. You'll notice sometimes I have 2 levels here. I have 2 levels in terms of the Doge USD and Doge USDT. In terms of switching back and forth between 2 profiles, okay? That gives me the opportunity to switch back and forth between 2 profiles, depending upon what's set up and what time frames, essentially what chart work I want on there, what kind of technical analysis I want to throw at it. So those are just some advanced ideas in terms of some advanced, techniques you might want to employ. The book, guys, you guys have the book, Principles of Technical Analysis of the Futures Market. Okay, that's where most of my knowledge comes from. It's not perfect knowledge at all. I always encourage people, go talk to your broker, go talk to a financial analyst and a money manager and a planner, because you're not going to get that most likely on the internet, guys. I'll just tell you that. It's just not going to happen. That's not the way things work. So those guys spend a long time doing what they do, and they're very proficient in that. I was offered a position from, Morgan Stanley, and decided not to do that. I did not want to necessarily just sell. I think about it now, I would have had to sell things at a higher price than what I knew they were worth, and I would have had to sell them anyway to people who potentially couldn't afford to really take that position and stay comfortable. So I don't know. It's interesting. I have a lot of respect for that, for the role that brokers and institutional, banks, etc., have played in the past. I have a respect for the role they've played in the past in terms of market developments. Currently, things have changed a lot. As I look at, where would I be if I were with Morgan Stanley right now? or JP Morgan or any of those, or if you were with any of those. Some of you might be with some of those. But they played such a crucial role in terms of market development and the advancement of markets. But now look at the setup we have here. I mean, this is a nice setup. This trading view, this is a pretty phenomenal setup. I like it a lot. It's very professional. It's something that I feel comfortable using. I think it represents a lot of it does have some flaws. And I know integrated kind of institutional systems are investment, brokerage house systems are very capable and run some, incredible diagnostics, and that stuff's fun to think about. But it's just amazing what we can carry around in our pocket these days in terms of cell phones, mobile phones, executing. We can draw a Fibonacci on a cell phone, come up with limit orders, throw them in, do 5 or 10 minutes of work on an iPhone, something that literally probably took people hours and hours, if not afternoon, maybe a whole afternoon. We could do, let's say a brokerage house maybe 30 years ago, we can do in 10 minutes, literally 10 minutes on a cell phone. So I don't know, it seems like we're in a pretty good space in terms of kind of where we're at. And I enjoy kind of, towing the line with you guys. We're going to see if this wants to break out. I don't know, towing the line, but what are we going to say? Where's our guy? Where's our guy? Let's we're going to talk about towing the line. Come here. Let's see if it'll bring this back up. Well, we had our smoking, what was he? He's our smoking Doge. You guys have to see this. Sorry for the delay. I know that's no fun when the delay comes on. Well, we had a smoking Joe. What happened? Well, there's our Doge on the moon. We like that one. I thought we had the, darn it. Well, we had to start with, you guys have to rewind this whole video. We had, I don't know what some of this stuff is, the Kingdom. That is us on Twitter. It's the Kingdom, so you guys enjoy that. But if you guys want to rewind that, we have the smoking dog having his cigar, so that was nice. And yeah, we're just kind of paying attention to the price right now. We want to see kind of what happens, and Doge is kind of leading the pack right now. Very, very well done. We anticipate good things. It is running into a wall here in around the 45. I won't say unanticipated, but at the same, it's just been unstoppable. Some of you got out at this level and around the 44 mark. That's reasonable. Appreciate you guys sharing that with us. I want to make sure I didn't miss any of these global big chats here. Let's see what we have. So we have Space Ranger in the house. Big shout out to all the VIP guys. I want to say to Lars, to Kent, to Matt, to Jellica, to Ben Frog. What's going on, VIP crew? You guys are great. We'll be bringing you some great information, okay, in addition to what we have already. Jeff Arnett, how you doing, brother? Good to have you here. Who else is here? See what you guys have to say. Crypto HQ, I still have that question on the radar, and we'll get to that. I'll look back over that, and we'll make sure that we address that in full. Okay, Binance takes a while to verify. I learned the hard way a few months ago. That's right. That is right, Lars. Absolutely. Binance does take a long time to verify, without a doubt. And Shannon R., new Basecamp member. That is great. So, yeah, you guys are doing a great job. It just I appreciate you guys being a part of the community, and from Bond and the moderators, Red Raider, to just everybody. It's really nice to have a good group. And the dynamic here is, guys, you are into trading. You're very technical, and I know that you're into trading. You're a very sophisticated group, and it's not the average group of YouTube kind of, just slam around with videos and, pick up what you can or not. And that's the big difference, guys. That's the big difference with this group. That's what makes this kind of a special group to be a part of. I want to give you guys just some additional time tonight. I think we're going to continue to have some very interesting days leading on up into Saturday. Just remember here, there's a potential consolidation. There is an argument for it going to the upside as soon as we can breach through this level. Guys, I don't believe that Elon's going to be there on Saturday Night Live and for us to be kind of exploring the potential that Dogecoin's doing poorly. I just don't see that as happening. He's got a great PR team. Just keep that in mind as you look towards kind of what's going to go on in the future. You guys in the, I'm going to point up to this, guys, this VIP invitation. It's got exclusive perks. We are going through some great information and developing a VIP card right now. And just understand, it's going to be a VIP card made by the developers or the designers of the Houston Open. Or not, I keep saying the Houston Open. It's not the Houston Open. It's I think I went to the Houston Open one time. In addition to like the Pinehurst, those were golf events. That's in North Carolina and in Houston. I'm not a huge golf fan. But I keep saying the Houston Open. That was a golfing event I went to. It's the U.S. Open. I'm sorry, the U.S. United States Open, the golfing tournament. not golfing. I just can't. I'm never gonna get this right, guys. It's the tennis tournament. You can tell how much time I'm spending with sports anyway. Our VIP zone is supposed to be a cool place where we don't have to talk about tennis and golf and all these great things. I just tell you, don't catch me there talking about golf or tennis. I may have just saved myself from a lot of headache down the road. It's a tennis deal. I don't go to tennis, guys. I'm not into that. I hit the ball too hard. I take the racket back, and I think I make a hole in the racket at the end of the day. I'm a pretty intense guy. So yeah, same problem with golf. I'll smoke the ball. I'll literally just hit it, and probably it may go 400 yards in the wrong direction, but I'll hit the heck out of it. So yeah, they're both essentially the same game to me. But the U.S. Open tennis match, the designer of the tennis match, the internationally renowned tennis match, they're gonna design our VIP cards for the VIP crew. So you guys enjoy that. It's gonna be fun. We're working on that. We just put the feelers out today, and they seems like there's a positive response. They've worked they've done some projects for me in the past on some different business ventures that I've had. So that'll be exciting. In addition, we have the Discord. That's pinned tweet on the top. You guys see Red Raider and the big crew there. Shout out to all my alphas, my alpha traders. Kenny Crypto, what's up? Kent, Bianca, and Al and Chris, want to shout out to you guys. You're technical kind of experts, and we have some Bad Shot and Julian that are looking at entering into the alpha program, or in addition to the VIP club. But yeah, we had a great response thus far for the VIP crew, and we're going to be trying to bring you a little bit something different than what the other channels are going to. They may bring you a new I don't know, just a new kind of crypto, a new, off the wall deal. Anyone can synthesize all that information. We can synthesize the markets, go through the smaller cap coins, come to you with a good idea. Anyone can kind of do that. We would like to do, things like that, and in addition, kind of educate you guys in terms of kind of what the proper strategies are on it, based on a textbook, kind of a fundamental approach to like what do textbook analytics say, without it being boring. If we can kind of jazz it up and make it exciting. That is what we're going to try to do, and essentially also try and give you some kind of like smooth ideas, right? Like what's the hip smooth kind of thing to do from like cool, I don't know, just cool stuff. You'll be surprised. That's part of it, is I guess being pleasantly surprised and being very well treated. You guys know that. And so we do appreciate you. Looks like we have entered into something, if you guys want to call this like the beginning of a consolidation, whatever it decides to do here, the pricing here on Dogecoin, whatever it decides to do, I'm completely fine with it, okay? So I'm completely okay with whatever this wants to do. It's been a phenomenal ride up to this. And now the next thing to be conquered is going to be this 45 level. So I'm getting a little bit winded and tired. I didn't realize how late it is. So it's about 1:45 Central Standard Time, wherever you guys are at. We appreciate you hanging tough, and just continue to watch Dogecoin, but get your sleep. Make sure you eat well, make sure you rest well, and make sure you continue to invest in those relationships and all those things that you invested in before you actually got involved in investing. So that's my last the only real advice you'll really get from me. So in addition to that, enjoy the community. You guys have a great night. We appreciate you tuning in, and congratulations, guys, on your 100% return over the last, while it's recovering. It's in a recovery phase, okay? While it's in a recovery phase, and essentially some people are trying to make back the money to where they've been, you guys have hit it out of the park. So